Hi guys, my name's Anthony Edge from Edge Academy here in San Diego. Good morning to everybody. We're on our 5th haircut now. So we've done 5 haircuts, 5 days of sharing on our social media platforms and our YouTube channel. We just thought it came up with a great idea that we did 8 haircuts a while ago live on Instagram and everyone loved it. Obviously we're in the lockdown, we're at our home, and we just thought we'll do 1 haircut a day to share on Instagram Live, social media presence and YouTube. So we're going back to different collections of Edge and sharing different lengths, textures and techniques. So we're on to like more of the mid-length kind of shapes. So we're working on this haircut, on the next haircut now. This is our 5th haircut. It's going to be working on a little bit more of a kind of a wedge. All right, you can't really see it at the back. It's rounded through the sides. It's working on natural curly hair, natural texture, but it's a beautiful shape to create like a little wedge at the back. At the back. So that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be more rounded through the front and then a little bit more of a wedge through the back area, building up that shape. So let's take you through it. Really simple. The good thing about this haircut is just literally 2 sections. All right, it's literally 2 sections. You're going to section out the top, and then everything else is connected, and then this is disconnected. So the top area is disconnected. So how did we approach it first of all? So if you go on a profile, and we'll see that, you're literally working from the crown, so from the top of the crown, all the way down to the ear. All right, so we've literally worked in a parting called a radial, okay, from crown to ear, so subdividing the hair into 2. Then literally we've worked a diagonal section, so a diagonal back section, okay, in front of the crown, diagonally, all right, so probably about a good couple of inches above the hairline, okay. So this is going to be obviously working with a nice shape through here. So diagonal back, exactly the same on the opposite side. So what happens then on a straight on, that creates like a little triangle, okay. So you create like a little triangle, all right, and then you go through the back area, okay. Then we do again diagonal back sections, okay, going towards below the occipital bone, and that creates like a V, all right, all the way through the back area. So we've got like a little V. So in a way, it looks like a large diamond, very large diamond, okay. So you basically got it like so at the front, and then like so at the back, okay. This is going to create a little bit more of a wedge kind of feeling, take it in. Alright, so we're going to start at the front of the haircut, at the sides. So I'll probably stand on this side, keep the lighting pretty good for Gloria. And we'll literally crack on. I'm going to have to use one of those clips out of there. I think I've got an extra clip in there somewhere. Yeah, okay, so I need an extra clip through here. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we're going to literally work diagonal sections all the way up to this diagonal back section. So I'm going to literally go to the centre, just push that hair away from that side, and I'm just literally working from top of the ear to the centre parting. I'm just literally working on this whole side section, and I'm just literally going to start with a diagonal, mirrored, just in the temple area, should I say. Okay, and then how steep your diagonal depends on like what sort of length you want to go with the front. So in this case, what we're doing, we want to keep a little bit more length within the fringe. Okay, so I'm going to mirror. So my distribution, the way I comb the hair, is going to be natural full. The way I'm going to cut it is parallel to the parting. Okay, so I'm literally bringing it down and then bending my fingers to be parallel to that parting. So what you're going to be doing, the whole front section is going to be mirrored to this diamond. All right, so it's bringing all that down, and then it's just going to be literally a little bit more of a rounded, moppy kind of fringe. Okay, so what I want to do is literally how short you want to take it. So we don't want to go mega short here. We were working on naturally curly hair, so we left it a lot longer, because on naturally curly hair, if I cut it to here, it would have sprung right up really tight, and it would have literally gone right, disappeared. Alright, so with our model, what we used in our collection 2019, last year's collection, worked on a little wedge, and we left it right down here, because then it just jumped up so much. Okay, so I don't know what's the best angle really.
You're
Gloria,
fine.
so I'm just going to have a look around there, just like that. Get my hair down, bend my finger, and then I'm going to leave it a little bit longer. Okay, so we're leaving it a little bit longer to play with. Okay, I don't want to take it really, really tight. Some of you might want to take this really short. Just don't keep it below the ear. Okay, so just covering the ear a little bit. Or blunt. Okay, nice little blunt shape. What I'm going to do is just going to continue bringing everything down to that guideline. So now we're going to introduce some of the front now. So the first section is diagonal and it's just more in the temple area. So what we're going to do now is just going to split this whole section in half. So you're going to split that in half like so on a diagonal, and then you'll drop all that down. So that means then you're going to start to introduce some of that front hairline. Okay. If the density of the hair is finer, as we all know, we could take that in one section. Alright, so we're just taking it bit by bit. Okay, so then we comb it down. It's a natural fall. See the guideline? 1 finger's depth of elevation. And my elevation is 1 finger just touching the skin, or in this case the plastic dolly head. Alright, natural fall. My fingers are perpendicular to the parting, so parallel to the parting. If you wanted the outline to be softer, you could point cut it. You could literally elevate a little bit higher if you wished. Okay, and then my last section now, coming down, natural fall again. So starting the top of the ear, natural fall, parallel to the parting. One finger's depth of elevation. And stepping round the head, coming over the eye. Coming all that way. Okay, so then just quickly just checking through, making sure you're happy. It's a nice, blunt, clean line, parallel to your parting. And then we're good. Alright, so like I said before, if you wanted to make it softer, you could point cut it even softer again. Instead of bringing it low elevation, you could make it higher and it makes it even softer. Okay, once you're happy with that, now we're going to go into the opposite side. Okay, we'll do exactly the same on the opposite side. So, first section was our temple area, so we'll just do a little diagonal section within that temple. Grab all that longer hair. Yeah, so you just grab all that longer hair. Try and keep it as clean as you can. Just click that out of the way. Okay. Also, if you're a little bit scared of keeping your balance and stuff like that, you could have done one side, get the perfect balance and the perfect guide, and then you could have done switch. You could have alternated. Okay, you could have done that if you prefer as well. Okay, so you comb that down, and then you see my finger, so it'll be parallel to that parting. Okay, and like I said, we're keeping it below the ear, and then we're literally just blunt cutting through. Natural fall, 1 finger's depth, and then before we continue, we're just going to check that balance, make sure we're okay. We're not going too short on one side or anything. And then what we'll do now is literally just go and split that in. Remember, we split that one right in half. So you literally just go diagonal and split all that in half. So that means you're introducing some of the frontal hairline. Okay, keep that all the way through. And then you'll start to have 2 guidelines. You'll have a guideline at the top of the ear, what you just cut, and then you have a guideline which is your at the front on the opposite side, which is your fringe in a way. Okay, so you're kind of like matching the dots. So, fine teeth with the comb, natural fall. See the guideline, nice and clear. Combing down, parallel to the parting. So my fingers are parallel to the parting, perpendicular, parallel. And then literally working all the way through. I think you can see now what you're going to do. You're going to literally work and match. You're going to match that guideline with that guideline. So you're literally just coming down. And there you go. You can see from the previous side and this side, bring that down and you match it straight across. Okay. Alright, and then we'll do the final side. Coming that down. Okay, so natural form. Your finger parallel to the parting. And then stepping around the head. See that nice and clear. Okay, this is your check. You just check it, make sure you're happy with everything. Okay, and that is literally your front section completed. Okay, so literally working a little bit more of a moppier, rounded kind of feel into the shape. Okay, if you wanted to leave it longer, you can do. You can take it shorter. Depends on the density of the hair and also what texture you're working on. We worked on a curly, natural hair, so this was more like at the lip. It was really long and then it really jumped up and it was beautiful on that kind of hair type. Okay, so once you're happy with the front section, that's all completed. Now we're going to go into the nape area. So we're going to go into the nape now. As you can see, that continues into a diagonal section and we want to create more of a wedge kind of feeling. So what we're going to do, we're going to carry that guideline on. Alright, but we want to literally not take anything off the middle. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're literally going to go diagonal back section. Just twist that out of the way. We'll go here, so it's probably got a better angle. Alright, and then you can see the guideline, what we've just cut. Okay. Now I'm going to elevate, I'm going to create a little bit of graduation in here. Alright, so I'm just going to graduate this through. So I'm going to take this tighter into the nape. Still parallel to the parting, so cutting parallel to the parting, distribution, parallel, or T to the parting. Elevation now 45 degrees, so I'm just elevating at 45. My elevation's changed here because I want to create a bit more shape. Okay. Bring that out, and then just literally just tapering this hair in to the middle. And then my last section. All done. Again, personal choices if you want to use a different tool to make it softer. I know a lot of people are fans of razors and using point cutting, making it a little bit more shattered if you wish. So this is only bump there. Okay, and you can start to see that shape creating nicely. Okay. Through, make sure we're happy. Okay, so we're going to go and do exactly the same now on the opposite side. Okay, so diagonal, back. Just want to just clip that out of the way. Working the top as your guideline, and then tapering it in. So like I said before, 45 degrees of elevation. Tapering that in. There's the guideline, nice and clear. Keeping your wrist nice and flat. Last section. And what you're trying to do here is literally not cut as much off in the middle. Right? So some of you might be thinking, is this a rounded graduation? Is this a classic graduation? It's more of a wedge. So what that means is I'm going to try and build up more weight in the middle. So instead of me walking round the head and coming all into the middle, I want to try and keep more of a tail going on here. So the whole full effect is to kind of keep it heavier in that centre, build up a little bit more weight in there. Hence why we've got a parting going into a point, because that's the shape what we really want to try and create. Okay, so before we continue, we just want to check that balance. Should pick up from the same area. Check that through. Pretty much happy with what we've got going on. Kind of a nice length going on through there. Right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to literally just disconnect it ever so slightly through this top section, because we're working on a little bit more of a curlier hair. If you wanted to work this more classical and you wanted this nice and smooth and blow dried, and you use like a Denman or a flat brush, and you can literally just carry on now working with V sections like diagonals and just bring everything down to that stationary guideline, if that makes sense, because that's what we're going to do, is literally work V's. So you can see that V's now gone smaller. So we're just going to go diagonal, diagonal, and then we're going to do another diagonal and a diagonal, and eventually I'll disappear that V. Alright, so instead of bringing everything down onto that guideline now, and then making this making this heavier and heavier and heavier, more classical, because we worked on curly hair, what we did, we disconnected it. So basically just disconnect and leave it about an inch longer. Alright, we just left it about an inch longer, just through there. So you get a little bit more like a veil feel to it. A little bit more of a veil. Okay, we just wanted it a little bit longer. Okay. So it falls a little bit more disconnected, a bit looser. Okay, through there. So larger teeth now, and then it's very, you could be a little bit more freehand here if you wanted to. If you also want to break this up, you could even just break it up a little bit like this. Okay, and just make it a bit softer. Take some weight out. And customization. So you can see the guideline underneath from my fingers just there. So you just ignore that guideline. And if you're thinking why is there more coming off this particular side, is because the haircut prior to this, we worked on a bit of an asymmetric. Okay, so we've been using the same mannequins through all these haircuts, alright, what we're going through. So it's kind of nice really to do 14 haircuts, working with like the mannequin and seeing the kind of the shapes creating. You can start to see that you get a little bit more of a tail going on in there. And that's what we want to do. And if you don't like the tail, then you take that off, and again, comes down to customization. So we just pull all that hair over to one side if you wish. Alright, so you don't need to part it or anything, you could just literally just comb all that hair over to one side, knock off any hair what reaches. And then if you want to take some weight out, you're more than welcome to just take some weight out. We've got a bit of brick cutting necessary just to take a little bit of weight. Do exactly the same there. Pretty much happy. We start to create that little wedge. Okay. And now you just literally go through to the front. Okay. So you go through the front area. And what do we do through the front? We do exactly the same kind of idea. Okay, so just literally combing the hair down to its natural fall, and then just leaving it slightly disconnected again just through the front. So just through the sides, so we'll just comb it down. You can see the disconnection, or the longer bit falling over. You can see that. And again, how much you leave is honestly up to you. So in this case, just bringing it down, just leaving about an inch. And then we'll just literally just bring everything down through with the back, just ever so slightly with the disconnection. Start to get that nice little flow. Now with the fringe, you know, if you want to leave it as a little veil as well, or would you connect it? We connected the fringe in a little bit more, so we just brought that down and then just connected the fringe. So we didn't want to have any little pieces just falling over. So just like eyebrow to eyebrow, we just literally worked that fringe like that.
Can you face the mannequin towards, yeah, thanks.
And you just shake it all out, and you get this like this nice little moppy kind of texture through there. Pretty heavy. Looks good, you know, with texture, but also, you know, the whole raw fet for us when we did it in 2019, last year, was it was curly. And we just had a gorgeous girl with like afro hair, natural curly hair, natural texture, and we were like, okay, what can we do? And I came up with this kind of idea, just, you know, a little bit more of a roundedy wedge kind of feeling to it, with a little bit of a veil kind of shape to it. So we just liked it really, how it was just simplified. And you can see like you just get those little wing bits out there and get a bit heavier. Alright, so that's the kind of the technique really. Really simple, quite moppy. Alright, pretty heavy. If you felt like you wanted to layer this, you're more than welcome to just go through and put like a little layer in it. Take it shorter through the middle, do a little concave and still keep the weight within the shape. You could even do that to give a little bit more texture as well. But in this case, just to give you a recap, we just worked a large diamond, okay, in front of the crown, really quite steep, the diagonal sections, and then in the back area, pretty deep all the way down to the occipital bone, the diamond was. And then through the sides, we just literally comb the hair down to natural fall, 1 finger's depth of elevation, and then literally parallel to the parting. Same on the opposite side. And then through the back area, we just connected the from the top of the ear into a 45 degrees elevation, creating more of a wedge. And then within the diamond, we just left it about 1 inch longer, just to create a little bit of softness, like a little veil. All right, and you can just see when you play around with it, get a really nice little texture through there. You know, especially working on this little mannequin shape, you know, you can really start to see that little moppy kind of feeling to it. But I hope you like it. This is our 5th haircut from what we're going to be doing. Thank you.